Hello, I'm making this video against my better judgment. So here we go. Three topics. This is gonna be a 10-minute video, so 3 minutes apiece, hopefully. Charlie Kirk, the Ocean Window, and Heroism. So you may have heard that Charlie Kirk was assassinated today. It was an assassination by probably a leftist against the most against the right wing person. So before going into that, I just want to give my proper respects to Charlie Kirk. Um, he did a lot with his wife. He did more than most people do, more than I've done, more than probably you've done. He created an organization to fight for what he believes in. He got married, had 2 kids. He obviously was beloved by everybody that he knew. He had a lot of friends, and they obviously love him. Well, still love him. I haven't heard anybody say anything actually bad that he has done or said to anybody. Plenty of stuff that's controversial, sure. Nothing actually mean spirited or bad or wrong. He was a good man, um, for all intents and purposes. If you, um, so you need to give him credit. He believed in God. He believed he was a Christian. Um, I think anybody who believes in any sort of Christianity thinks that he's saved. He represented things. He talked to both sides. That's what I really liked about him. He talked to both sides. How many people do that? Talk to both sides. Try to reach out across the aisle. Try to actually can persuade people instead of just browbeating them with what they want to hear. He wasn't radical. He was a pretty milquetoast center right politician, activist. He was an activist. You can call him an activist. That's what he was. But he was pretty like center right. He wasn't far right at all. And there is a far right out there. Charlie Kirk was against the far right. He was proved wrong. Um, and to all intents and purposes, he was an organizing guy. Now, personally, I think he was kind of boring. That's my personal bit about his communication style. That doesn't matter. He did so much stuff, and he did so in a way that wasn't hateful or mean or anything like that. So, first, you got to give credit to him for his wife. His wife, well lived, cut short way too soon. That man was assassinated today by somebody, most likely somebody on the left who thought they'd take a shot at a right wing influencer. Not a politician. Like, I get if somebody, like, okay, get it. If you think Trump is Hitler, sure, you're wrong, but I get it. If you think that, like, somebody really radical, like Nick Fuentes or somebody, has it coming, I get it. It's wrong, but I get it. This is the most center right mainstream politician, not politician, influencer, political person the right wing has. There is nobody really more milquetoast, moderate center of the road than the right, than Charlie Kirk. He was an organizer. He organized things. He had conversations with the other side, and he organized. He organized a structure to lead young conservatives. And you killed him for it. You killed him for that. If you're willing to defend the killing of this guy, you are the issue with the country. You are the problem because it's indefensible. This is not a defensible killing or anything like the Luigi Maggioni thing or whatever. This was an assassination attempt against probably one of the best people, as people go, on the right. That is a problem. So the Overton window is a set of things that you can and can't say in polite company. So it's a concept where you can have two sides of a conversation. And anything in between those two sides is like a reasonable thing to say, right? So, like, something inside the Overton window is to say crime is bad. Something outside the Overton window is to say every criminal should be, you know, that would be outside the Overton window, so I'm not going to say it. On the left, you'd have, well, that's just it. I don't really know what the leftmost Overton window is, and that's kind of the problem, right? Now, if somebody's a sensible leftist, would be the most leftist thing you can say that would be inside the Overton window would be we should have a universal income, or like companies extract money from everybody and need to be taken out. To say companies should be taken out, that's like within the Overton window. We'd be sensible leftists say, yeah, companies are evil, we should all be taken out. I may not agree with it, but I get it. Beyond the Overton window, for somebody sensible on the left, would be bring back gulags. That would be like too far, right? Charlie Kirk was well within the middle of that Overton window. What are you allowed? Things you're allowed to say. It's controversial. He danced with the edges, but he never really crossed over. The type of stuff I see in the left right now, in response to this murder assassination, is way outside the Overton window. Like to say, oh well, like my sister said this. She said, "Hey, maybe the shooter was some parent who was upset their kid died in a school shooting, basically creating out of complete nothing a bullshit story that excuses this assassination. That is an absurdly stupid thing to say. Stephanie, if you listen to this, you're an idiot for saying that, by the way. Way outside the Overton window. Yeah, you. Um, that said, there is a lot worse that I've heard from a lot of other people. Basically glorifying in the death of this guy, saying that he deserved it, saying that he basically had it coming when he obviously did not. The proper response is the response given by actually Gavin Newsom, who actually gives a good point for this for it. He basically said, "This is very sad. I condemn political violence from all sides." Okay, you got a tiny bit of a dig in there at the end against right wingers, but pretty gentle to be honest. And you're condemning it, fine. That is a good response to have. Or even if somebody says like, "Oh, well, we need to have this is terrible. We should prevent. We should have less guns in society." Or this is terrible. We have a mental health crisis in this society. I'm like, a little bit of a dig is like okay, and I think it's just kind of expected. But if you do anything to say that this guy deserved it or should have been, it made sense in some way to prove a point, that is terrorism because you're using violence to push a political message, which is clearly outside the Overton window. That is just a wildly, absurdly stupid thing to say. Um, yeah, it's a bad take. Now, I get that if you're scared of the right wing or whatever, I get it. You're scared of the other side taking too much power, taking away your right to be gay or to be trans or to do whatever thing you want to do. I get it. I don't agree with you, but I get it. It's everybody's scared of the other side politically. That's just how humans work. Um, there's a way to say it, but I mean, I get it. You don't understand that this guy who was killed is a center right guy. He's one of the guys holding the line against the crazy people on the right who actually want to do the terrible things. By assassinating Charlie Kirk, whoever assassinated him, murdered, heavily injured the center right. People like me who try to have like a somewhat multi-sided opinion. Like, I try to criticize corporations. I try to I try to defend LGBT rights when I can, and not when they go too far, but I try to defend those rights among my conservative friends or my more Christian groups. I try to make arguments for science and for vaccines and for rational government. I'm center right. I try to see both sides. I really do. I don't always sound like it. You took a shot, a heavy shot, a bullet-sized shot at people like me who want the conversation to just be normal and going back and forth. That does not benefit your side. The actual rise of a far right is way more likely now than it was 8 hours ago. Way more likely. And if you are celebrating this in any way, you are basically cheering on your own demise because I'm really hoping everything calms down. I really do. I don't want there to be anything that happens. But if it does because of this, it's your fault for encouraging it. That's all I'm saying. Now I get to my third point, heroism. What made Kirk a hero was not the fact that he was a good organizing principal or a good father or anything else. Well, good father, sure, hero, sure, of course. But what made him a hero is the fact that he's willing to put himself in danger for the sake of reaching out to the other side. I want to be gung ho and be like, oh, down, but his legacy, if he's to have one, is going to be as somebody who is able to reach across the aisle and talk to people. And he put himself in danger. It's not that dangerous to have a radical opinion and give it from your bedroom or give it from a news agency or do it from behind a screen. That's not particularly difficult or risky. What is risky is to put yourself in public to reach out to other people. That is a dangerous, dangerous thing, and it's a heroic thing. So, I mean, I'm of two minds of this. Where I'm like, part of me is like, we can't let this happen again. There needs to be a cost to this to the left. And then the other side of me says, well, Charlie Kirk himself always tried to reach out to the other side. So we really want to honor his memory. We need to reach out to the other side even harder. And be 10 million Charlie Kirks in the country, convincing the other side to join us. That is the good ending that we have in this situation. The bad ending is not a good ending. Honestly, I don't want to be around if everything goes like that. I'll probably just ditch the country, to be honest. But for now, I'm going to keep fighting for democracy, freedom of speech, discussion, persuasion. We've already had a Obi-Wan versus Anakin moment. Where do we embrace the side of darkness and violence and despair, like Anakin does? Or do we embrace the side of Obi-Wan, where we lose, but we fight for good? We lead the next generation, we communicate, we give a example of what goodness can be moving into the future. And we get our butts kicked, but we're still on the side of good. I'd rather stay on the side of good. There's a very much a temptation on the right now to give into vengeance, I guess. No, we need to be Jedi. Even now, we need to be Jedi. Be happy warriors. Try to get the other side to join us. Keep fighting for good. There's a lot of good in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for. Anyway, that's all for now. Cheers.